Good morning, viewers, and welcome to your morning dew and newspaper review on Cactv. Yes, sure you had a fantastic weekend as much as I did. And with me is my wonderful co-host, and I remain Mudot Dominic. So please, guys, introduce yourself.
Good morning, I'm Dapolo to Mudot. Good morning, Engineer. Good morning.
Dapo, good morning to you. My name is Ola Oladipo.
So how was your weekend, sir?
Not bad, as usual.
Okay, you rested.
Eat and sleep.
Wow. So what did you do?
My weekend was a busy weekend.
As much as mine.
So it's not bad. It's not bad. We're good.
Okay, mine was interesting because I had a couple of concerts to attend and it was massive. You know, there's this concert, the one we had yesterday. Mali was in town, so it was quite fantastic seeing Mali music in Nigeria doing fantastically well. You know, all his fans all over Nigeria came to support and it was quite amazing. So before we go further into the newspaper review and take our quotes for the day, let's quickly go on a break, and when we come back we'll continue from there. Stay tuned. Yes, welcome back. So quickly we'll take our quotes for the day.
Yeah, the quote for the day is from the Bible chapter of Haggai, chapter 2 and verse 8. It says, "The silver is mine and the gold is mine, says the Lord of hosts." The silver, the gold. This should be your projection for the week and beyond. What if you care for gold? Gold means wealth. Silver means fortune. So, and I think we all want both. We want the wealth, we want the fortune, we want the blessings, we want prosperity, we want everything. Guess what? It all belongs to God. God has it in store, and if you care to take a little time and just say, God, I need this, I need that, you can have it. Just, to conclude on that is Matthew 7, say, ask
and shall be given.
Knock, search, you will have whatever you need.
Ask.
So in other words, let's go with this. Let's keep this in mind as today's, as far as today is concerned, that Haggai 2 verse 8 is as declared to us that the silver is the Lord's, the gold is the Lord, who will have whatever we desire. And God bless you as you care to believe.
Yes, thank you so much. And he also said that wealth and riches are in my house. So do not worry about anything. If you need anything, it's just a call away. Just call him and he would answer. So thank you so much for that fantastic quote. So quickly, let's look at our first story from the Punch newspaper. So our first story today says foreign airlines repatriate over $4 billion in 15 months. Nigerian have spent about $4.66 billion on foreign air travels in 15 months, according to findings by the Punch newspaper. Data obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria showed that the amount was sold to foreign airlines between the first quarter of 2022 and the first quarter of 2023. Foreign airlines buy foreign exchange from the CBN to enable them to repatriate their ticket sales proceeds to their various homes and countries. And this is the first story that we have in the Punch newspaper. So quickly, I'll start with Engineer Ola. What's your take on this?
Well, what I have to say is this. What really happened to Nigerian Airways? That problem has not been solved. That's why we are spending
such
so
amount
much
of
money. If you are operating in a country, outside the country, you have to send money back home. So what these airliners are doing, is logical, is normal. They have to send money back home. If Nigeria is failing to update the aviation sector, that also problems in the aviation industry in Nigeria. Insecurity, let me see, fraud, obsolete equipment, performances. I could remember in those days, if I'm traveling to, let's say you are going to America, you will see more passengers who are from Nigerian Airways, staff of Nigerian Airways.
Okay.
Their family, their friends, their relatives going to America. The same thing if you're on a London route or going to Saudi Arabia for Hajj. This is what killed Nigerian Airways. And the same problem is still there till tomorrow. Now, the foreign airlines are drawing lots of money from Nigerian economy to take back home. What is happening? And again, when you look at it, that if from Ghana today to London, and there's a Ghana-London route, if you look at the airline rate, that is the amount of money you're going to spend to purchase your ticket, it's cheaper than boarding from Nigeria. The same thing from Cotonou. Even in Nigeria, if you want to board a flight from Benin Republic to anywhere in Europe, the amount you pay is cheaper than the amount you pay in this country. Why is it so? So the government has to look into that aviation industry and maybe help us to solve the problem. Nigerian Airways is not operating now because they want to partner with Ethiopian Airlines. And when we say Nigeria is the giant of Africa, are we really the giant of Africa? Ethiopian Airlines has 41% and Nigeria maybe about 43% in the joint venture. That is joint aviation venture. That is Nigerian Air now, or Nigerian Airline, or Nigerian with whatever name you give to it. Umi Echo is Echo. You understand now? Whatever name you give to it, it's still the same Nigerian Airways or Nigerian Airliner or Nigerian Air or Nigerian Airline. The problem is still there. If you cannot solve we cannot perfectly solve the problem in our aviation sector, we have to go to Ethiopia. You know, tell them to give us airplanes. That we don't have enough airplanes. When Obasanjo was there, how many airplanes we had in Nigeria then? How many? We have at least not less than 22 or 23 in Nigeria then. When Obasanjo was there, that was when he was the military head of state. But by the time he came back, how many were left? Maybe 3. Boeing 707, DC-10, that is the Airbus DC-10 and cargo plane. Even if you travel down to Saudi Arabia, you will see how they operate Nigerian Airways cargo. I don't know how they calculate it. The social manager will come and tell you, oh, this is the amount of money you are paying. Okay, I don't have this kind of money. Whatever you have to beg, he will accept money from you. And they will not repatriate the money back to Nigeria. They spend the money. So the management is at fault, and the government has to look into this and say how can be able to upgrade Nigerian aviation industry.
Thank you so much. So, Dakwa, do you have something to contribute?
Well, I will just add to what Engineer mentioned as regards, for me, this story is so sad to see that we are talking about economic meltdown. Our economy is not rosy and things are really bad. And now in 15 months, we have squandered, it's not even spent for me. We have squandered $4.66 billion US dollars. That's huge. We are not talking about million now, we're talking about $1 billion. That is bigger than the half of the economy of East Africa. What Nigeria has consumed in 15 months.
It's alarming.
That is 1 year, 3 months. So it's alarming. And to now compare us with Cotonou and Ghana, do Cotonou have airline at all? If we say it is because we don't have Nigeria Airways, why is ticket cheaper in Cotonou to UK, to US and co? Why is it cheaper in Ghana? To the point that we are losing even more money to Cotonou, to Ghana, because lots of Nigerians are boarding from those countries. So this is a matter that the government, people who matters in the aviation sector need to look deeply into. I pray we are able to come out of this, because President Tinubu's administration has a lot to do. A lot to do. And that's what I'll just draw.
And that's the more reason why we have to continue to pray that the Lord strengthen him, so that it will not fail us this season, because a lot is expected of him. So looking at the second story that we have still on the Punch newspaper, and this says 3,000 Kano residents get free checkup medication. The Kano Independent Research Center Trust on Sunday offered free medical service to no fewer than 3,000 people from the Wanki Kudu rural community, all of whom are underprivileged members of the society. And this is the second story that we have on the Punch newspaper. So I'll start from you, Dapo. What do you have to say?
Well, we must give it to the organizers of that has conducted this free medical service with 3,000 people. That's huge. That's kudos to them. May God grease their elbow.
Exactly.
It reminds me of one that I'm part of, Destiny Focus Care Initiative. It's an NGO that does they do medical, they do free bowl water projects for rural community. I think people should replicate this kind of things and be a follower of what is good. We really applaud and laud whoever, as many people that has joined in to facilitate this welfare service. It's so laudable. That's what I would just say.
Okay, so let me take the third story. So I would call in Engineer Ola to contribute. So the next story says bank shareholders protest as directors borrow 113 billion naira. The directors of the Associate of Union Bank of Nigeria, Stanbic IBTC Holdings, Sterling Banks and Access Holdings were granted 112.77 billion naira loan in 2020. An analysis on financial statements of the lender has shown that still in the story. And this is the third story that we have in the Punch newspaper. So let me start with you, Engineer Ola.
Well, it's a very sad thing to know. There are lots of Nigerians who believe in the banking sector. They put their money in the bank with the main aim that I may be able to secure a loan to fulfill my obligations if I have lots of money in the bank. But reverse is the case. If you want to take loans from the bank, there are lots of steps you have to take. But it's very, very disheartening to know that in the banking sector, they only favor themselves, their staff and their relatives. They come to the bank to take loan, while other Nigerians are suffering. Actually, other sectors are suffering. And the interest rate the bank is given is very, very high. So I think the government has to look into that. Bank anywhere in the world has a communal effort to give to the citizens of this country. For example, let me make an example of in India. You will see banks giving out transport loan to people to purchase I will call it in Nigerian name Kekemarua. And the bank will write sponsored by Bank of the North, Bank of the South, Bank of the East. You don't see that in Nigeria. They will give you a very, very cruel condition that after 3 months they withdraw the Kakamara from you. That because you are unable to pay. How can you pay when they are giving loans out to their relatives? How do you reconcile this? It doesn't have. This time around, it's not the government. It's about the people. Democracy. What is democracy? Government of the people, by the people, for the people. But the people are not helping the people.
That's deep.
So we will say everybody is one Jones okay in the bank. Not that one Jones in the bank. So if people are protesting on that, I really support them. Even I will join people to protest that the bank, you stop giving loans to your relatives and give to the community. Yes.
All right. Thank you for making that analysis. Okay, you have something to say?
Yes.
Okay.
You see, these banking people, we need help from EFCC. These are beautiful cases to look into. If bank shareholders could protest, now what happens to customers? This is really condemnable. It is the shareholders that are now protesting, not even customers. That means the customers have right to demand for reasons why they cannot access loan and why they have disbursed so much to themselves. It's questionable.
Exactly.
So, and to answer this question, I think there are quarters through which all of this can be fine-tuned, and that's the FCC. They should look into the matter. Whoever is found guilty should be prosecuted. Why would you borrow this much while people who are doing other businesses are suffocating?
Cannot access it.
It doesn't make any sense. We are complaining that the country is this, the country is that. And these directors, if you see their salary, hundreds of millions. They are still there borrowing this much. They are not even borrowing in million now. Billion.
All right. Thank you so much.
Please, every go to their office. Arrest them.
Okay, thank you. Quickly, we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll take the stories that we have on the Vanguard newspaper. So stay tuned. We'll be right back shortly. Thanks for staying tuned. This is still your morning dew and newspaper review on Cactv. Always feel free to stop by on our YouTube channel to take a look at what is going on there. Subscribe and also contribute, because I would be so delighted to read and hear your comments and all that you have to contribute to the program. So taking our first story from the Vanguard newspaper, and this says consumer goods manufacturers borrow 1.8 trillion to survive in HI 23. And this is the story that we have in the Vanguard newspaper. And the story says, at the backdrop of rising interest rates and foreign exchange scarcity leading to consumers' good manufacturing company have consumed under several funding pressure. Severe funding pressure. Financial Vanguard findings from the financial statements of the companies shows that they have resorted to very expensive bank bank borrowings to sustain their businesses. So this is the first story that we have in the Vanguard newspaper. So Engineer Ola, let me start with you.
Now, if manufacturers of essential commodities are finding it very difficult to operate in Nigeria due to Nigerian banking policy, how can they survive? This is a very big question that must be on the lips of everybody. How would they survive? If you are a manufacturer, or let me say, yes, is a manufacturer, you manufacture one of these essential commodities, you find it difficult to pay your salaries. Nigerian workers are not demanding for high salary because to be able to meet up their social demands. And the bank rate is there, very, very high bank rate. You cannot get loan from the bank. They give loan to themselves, to their family. How can you survive? We are all saying, oh, the minimum wage is too poor, it's too low. We have lots of casual workers because the company cannot afford to pay their salaries. We have undergraduates that are telling them, okay, even in the banking sector today, they will tell you, if you don't have OND, HND, that is where they can employ you. They don't employ BSc with us again. Why? Because they say, okay, because we have to pay a month's salary to them. Because now they want to treat you as a school certificate holder. They don't recognize you again because of a BSc, because of the amount of money they are paying you. It goes back again to the banking sector. The bank will not give you money. If they are giving you money with high interest. And how do you reconcile this? Many companies are leaving Nigeria because of this policy. I think the government should look into this banking policy and work seriously on it. Many big industries are leaving the country because of this stupid and banking policy. In those days, our great-grandfather did not study economy in any university. And they are performing excellently. Wow. Look at Nigerian markets. How many markets we have in Nigeria? In Lagos alone, we have so many lots of markets. And most of these marketers now, they don't depend on the bank. And the bank's supposed to be the leader. Give out loans to people so that the business can
flourish,
can go very well and become a very good thing to do. But in Nigeria today, your trading business is 0 over. I will not say. I will say it is a. I don't know what to say about that. I think the government should look into it seriously and be able to help Nigerians with this so hard banking policy of our banks.
All right. So, Dapo, any contribution?
Well, just a little. I don't see a reason why we should be the problem of ourselves. The Manufacturers of Nigeria, man, I think the leadership are the ones to, maybe they will dialogue with the management in charge of the banking sector, because I believe they to have a body that controls them, probably the CBN, to look into policies at which they design receiving loans and then the rates.
Okay.
Because if they don't do these reviews, all we hear is what we are seeing in the paper. But beyond the media, somebody had to take responsibility and address issues. So the manufacturers of Nigeria should take up the matter, sit with CBN, and influence how they look into banking systems that take so much from them, sinking their business, turning them to zero portfolio capital. It doesn't make any sense. If everybody leaves Nigeria today and say we are not doing business, then our economy will go from worse to dead. That's what it means. And God forbid. So let's just do the needful. Take the matter to those who help fix it. Thank you.
Okay, looking at the second story that we have still in the Vanguard newspaper, this says Niger Republic Catholic bishops, JNI, AANI, others says no to military intervention. Lagos opposition has continued to trail plans by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, led by President Tinubu, to launch military operations against the Niger Republic as the Catholic Bishop Conference at the Catholic Bishop Conference of Nigeria, CBN. The Jama'atu Nazil Islamic JNI, led by the Sultan of Sokoto State, and the Alumni Association by the National Institution, AANI, weekend kicked against the move. So this is all about the move against the military in Niger Republic, according to the story. So let me start with you, Dapo.
Well, not just the bishop, not just the Sultan of Sokoto, myself kicked against this. In all our reviews since last week, I've been mentioning this on daily basis. That, see, we already have enough to fight here. It's clear and it's true that our president is the chairman of the ECOWAS. But as president of the ECOWAS, you are also, the primary responsibility first is Nigeria, your base. Because if you unleash war on these two countries or on Niger
Republic,
and they fight back, it is Niger plus Boko Haram plus insurgency, and then these people are abducted everywhere. We already have enough to fight. There are economic fights. We are still looking for survival as per economy. We are looking at power. We are looking at infrastructure. Now economy, that one is a no-go area. Insecurity. We already have enough to fight. You see, bringing Niger to our problem will do us no good. It's not going to make us look like a big brother. If we will be a big brother, it is out to prefer peace. And you don't prefer peace by firing squad or by, deploying the soldiers to unleash ammunition on them. No, the president should please, Baba Tinubu, call those that matter as far as this case is concerned. Boys, let's have a round table meeting. What do you want? It is quite all right to the public that the reason we are rejoicing when the coup d'etat took over. And So that means that these people are in power in the interest of the people. Because if the people are happy and the government is for the people, that means that they should be. But we are saying that they should reinstate the elected executive president. Beyond that is how the people want their
country. I support no war condition, and at the same time, we are living witness to what has happened in this country, Nigeria, military intervention. After independence, when we got independence in Nigeria, there was a coup, and later on we grew up to know General Yakubu Gowon. Everybody was enjoying Nigeria. There was no light off at all in Nigeria. We never knew of anything like NEPA of early 60s. Nigeria was good. Virtually every good were imported into this country, and everybody was fine. Then came about Udoji Award, that increment in salary. We nearly bought all the electronics in Lagos. There was no shop that was selling electronics that we don't buy the electronics in Lagos. Bang, bang, bang. There was a coup again. Murtala Mohammed came into the picture. Did not allow him to rest. Another coup came in. That was when the Obasanjo took over from Murtala Mohammed. He was ruling us. After he left, he said, okay, Obasanjo left and gave the government to Shagari regime. Shagari only one time, there was a coup again in Nigeria. But for many years, we were under military regime. And our economy, I could remember that in that period when we were about to travel, it was 60 kobo to $1. Look at the rate of dollar today in Nigeria. Everything has changed. How much will the card cost you in Nigeria then? See what the ministry has done to this country before we came back to democracy. So in Niger since 2020 or thereabout, there have been about 6 or 7 military changing in Niger. That is the army coup in Niger. What we are saying in essence is this: in this modern era, we don't want to be under military regime. At the same time, civilians are corrupt. Under civilian regime, there is a lot of corruption. It's the same kind of system, but we can't survive alone. Niger cannot survive alone. See what is happening in Niger today. America is withdrawing aid. France is withdrawing aid. Nigeria is withdrawing support and aid. Can Niger survive? We don't fight a war that we know we cannot win. The bishops, the imams will not support Nigerians going to war because already we have enough problem in the country. Going on. And at the same time, we must make a pronouncement. The pronouncement and the body language of the president is that I do not support coup in Niger. When people are saying because he's afraid of coup, he doesn't want to lose the government. Not that. Another thing is this: Niger is under French colony. And the interest of France in Niger is what? Uranium. One of the mainstays in the world today. And uranium is a raw material for nuclear plants. And to be able to survive their nuclear plant in Europe, France needs uranium from Niger. So they are coming back again to repartition Africa. That is what we must have in mind. How do we fight this? They are coming in slowly to repartition Africa. Are we going to sit back, fold our arms like cold amala? Expecting miracle to come down, or expecting God to come down from heaven and fight for us? No way. Who brought slavery to Africa? We Africans, who are doing it before they came. They did not teach us how to start slavery. I mean slave trade. They didn't teach us that. We knew it, we were doing it, we were practicing it before the white man came to Africa. We didn't learn corruption from there. We are corrupt. That is what we have to change. If you clean your house, a stranger coming to your house will not put dirt on the floor. Exactly. But if the house is dirty, he will come with his stupidity, dirtiness into your house.
And it continues like that.
And it continues like that. If Nigerians can come out in 1,000 and say, hey, we support this coup d'etat, we support the military regime, say no to France, we want Russia. Russia, France, Germany. What happened? What was the Second World War? Hitler rose up and said, those black apes in the dark continent of Africa. That is what he's calling the Africans. We don't want that to happen. So we have to start the fight. It has to be gradual. No, the Senate is saying we don't want war. I'm not supporting war. But if you want peace, you have to go to war.
It's coming from someone who has experienced the war before, so I rest my case on that matter. So let's look at the next story that we have still on Vanguard newspaper, and this says Atiku files fresh suit against Tinubu in U.S. court. Abuja. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the 2023 election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has filed a separate case at the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the United States. So this is a story that we have still in the Punch newspaper. So I will start with you again, Engineer Ola. What's your take?
Well, you see, the politicians, the way they are hiding and taking their battle. I could remember in those days, you know, we used to hear from the news that there's a train accident in India. Many politicians would die. They go as far as that to exterminate their opponent. That is because of what? Politics. But India has grown up in politics, and see the Indians today, they are all over the world. Educated, enlightened. I think our politicians should learn how to work together as a team so that there can be a very successful government in this country. Taking Tinubu to America, to South Africa, to do this, to do that. You are like you are white, you are in a white garment cloth, and you are playing with oil. What will happen to you? So whatever goes on will come back to you again. If you take our case to America, that this and blah 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 blah, the Americans will have their own opinion. Like this coup in Niger, the South African government is saying what we can say rubbish. That when you don't have a free and fair election in the country, when you have a president from that election, what can he say about coup in Niger? It's a slap.
That's a deep one.
You understand now? So the journalists, the press in this country has to be very, very careful on what they say about Nigerian government. How many bad things have you heard from American newspaper about America? America will tell you what is good in their society. They will not tell you we have people sleeping on the road of America. They will not say that. But it's there. That is the truth. No, but Nigerians will come up into the open. Oh, I'm afraid I won't say that. So what do you expect? So if he's saying, okay, I want to withdraw the case in America, why did you go to America in the first instance? So I don't want to comment about politicians. I've told that from the beginning that the politicians, I don't comment about their step, their move or anything. Whatever they do, Nigerians will see and judge. I don't have any comment on that.
You just commented a little, so thank you for that. So what do you have to say?
Well, I don't have much to add than to say that they both have rights. Everybody has the right to file and withdraw cases. To the best of my knowledge, they are seeing the tribunal. He has not withdrew all that he has against him at the tribunal.
No, he has not.
So he has only withdraw one out of many charges. So if Atiku has decided to withdraw this present one, congratulations to the president. You have won a suit by that withdrawal. The president just won. So when he withdraws, the president has just won a case, a suit. So we had won one. So, but there are still many to be addressed at the tribunal. So I know you still have some, but I doubt. I'm not hearing anything from the Labour Party candidate if he is doing same as regards this issue of withdraw. But be that it may, and you know, like I said it well, is when politicians are withdrawing cases and applying and filing cases. You war is just a citizen. Be patriotic to say God bless Nigeria and watch them and wave.
All right, thank you so much. We'll go for another quick break, and when we come back, we'll look at the stories that we have in Tribune newspaper. Stay tuned. Yes, thanks for staying tuned on your Cactv. This is where we bring to you the updates that you need to know as regards the newspaper review. So we'll take our last story from Tribune newspaper, and this says Sanwo-Olu suspends agency chief, sack facility manager over doctor's death. The general manager of the Lagos State Infrastructure and Asset Management Agency, Adenike Adekombi, has been suspended following the death of Dr. Wari Diaso. The government also sacked and blacklisted facility manager of the General Hospital Odon, Lagos Island. So that's the last story that we have from the Tribune newspaper. So let me start with you, Dapo. What's your take?
Well, I like Governor Sanwo-Olu for one thing. I think he's very proactive when it comes to matters like this. I love that he comes out to make a voice, and he didn't just act. It's not as if he now go and organize one committee to look into this matter, if it was true, if the lady actually died or not. When I saw the headline, I was pleased with that. Kudos to you, Governor Sanwo-Olu. More of this. We want our leaders to be like, to act. Don't give us one committee to say investigating the matter. Investigate what? A doctor who just finished, she has just a few months or so to complete her housemanship, and then a very terrible death. How does the family have to take this? But the solace has begun. I think this is the healing process. And how do we get healed? People get healed when we serve justice. So congratulations to the family of the late doctor. We are our condolences to you. We know your pains. Everybody is not happy with the situation, and you can see that the governor is already taking responsibility by sacking those who mismanage their office, who have allowed that accident to even happen, because it is negligence of duty that has caused this. The lift could have been operating well. There was a protest by the doctors stating how many times they have reported that particular case
over
and
time,
how there has been no intervention to amend or repair the lift. So this is a good one. If we look forward to many people that are found guilty should be fired, and and if possible they should be taken to court.
Exactly.
It's not good. You don't take life for granted. If you see, don't take a life you can't give. Don't why take it, and you do it systematically. When they place you in an office where you are supposed to manage lives and properties, and there is negligence and the boss, and they bring matters. You're saying, I'm busy. This is what they should face. After many years of service,
this,
you are sacked. Go.
Thank
you, Governor Sowolu.
This is actually because we are in a country where oftentimes they do things and then they feel they can go scot-free. But thank God, our governor is really taking action, and not just taking action, but taking action, the right action that needs to be taken. So, Engineer Ola, what do you have to say?
I concur with that on that matter. I totally support him 100%. What he has said. The government should look into the matter holistically, and those that are found guilty should be prosecuted.
All right, thank you so much. So quickly, let's talk about this Niger Republic. I know a lot of us, in fact, the viewers out there also have a lot to say about this Niger Republic issue. So will the involvement of the military, as far as this is concerned, will it solve anything, not make the matters, or rather make the matter worse? What do you think about this?
No, you see, when President Muhammadu Buhari was Nigerian president, something of such occurred in Gambia, and our president intervened, and troops were sent to Gambia. Senegal was released then.